I'll cut the intro off a bit earlier than now. Hello, welcome back to TNA UK Impacted episode 229. Coming to you live via the Total Non-Stop Impact Network via YouTube and Twitch. And if you listen on the go, we're available by SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, so it's your favorite shows. Yes, again, filling in for your host, the Bison. He's still on his holiday in Florida, having a damn good time, I must say. You are joined by the man coming to you from the void, the Joker, alongside the legend from your local nightclub, LimpstarUK. How are you doing, Craig?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. That was a very abrupt start to the show. I think Jason will be fuming. He'll be looking at us like you two can't be trusted.
Oh,
yeah. It was. We made an impact. Put it that way.
Yeah, well, I didn't laugh as much as I thought I was going to either, so I'm really, really pleased.
Held it well.
For now.
All good. Yeah.
Even that sanity.
Christ, we're hitting everything early. We're getting in early with the sanity.
Okay. So how's your week been?
Yeah, man, it's been just generic, to be fair. The work week has been generic. Had a absolutely blinding few days for the weekend and stuff like that, so that was really good. Went to a rave in a church, making it make sense. So yeah, that was pretty good. Spent some time in Bournemouth. Stayed in a hotel. We had a lovely time. It's been pretty good.
Nice way to wind down after a stressful week.
Oh yes, absolutely. It was much needed as well.
Yeah, so it's been pretty good here. Sammy's had his 4th birthday recently at the start of the month, so happy birthday to the masked dog. 4 years old, and just checking the chat now. Hi to Courtney.
Hey, Courtney.
Anybody else is in the chat, please feel free to sound off and let us know you're in there. We'll give you a shout out and we'll read your comments out as we go through. There's a hell of a lot of news to go through as well, so I'm really quite disappointed that there's only one person in the chat to go through it all with us.
They'll listen back, I'm sure.
But before we start, happy birthday, of course, to the TNA World Champion Joe Hendry, as it was his birthday when they went live on Sunday on Thursday. I'll get the days right sometime. Oh yeah. So anyway, happy birthday to the champ. And
happy birthday, Joe.
We all saw how that turned out. So shame things didn't quite go to plan, but coming up in the news net, you'll see things seem to be turning a bit sweeter, but give or take on how you look at it. Okay, let's get stuck in. Behind the scenes photo galleries from Rebellion and last week's Impact are now available on the TNA website. I've had a look through some of them. Some of the photos from Rebellion are amazing. It's just great to see all the backstage stuff. So some really nice photos to check out there if you're. Yeah, I agree, Courtney. Some of the races from WWE, they really took me by surprise. I'll give them a quick mention later on, but I will admit saying that now. I did not expect some of the talent to go who did. That's just like, whoa, what the hell? Hi to Dead Punk and hi to Bonkers. Good to see you guys.
Get on, Bonkers.
Hey, Paul Mathis. Now they're all starting to come in now. Hey guys. Keep it coming. Keep dropping the message. I'll shut you out as I'm going through. Triple A's Triple Mania is set to become the first cross promotion event featuring talent from WWE and TNA alongside Triple A's own talent. At the moment, Angel and Berto Garza have been confirmed, and rumors are that there is big interest in bringing Joe Hendry and the Hardys across from TNA's roster. Hopefully, more TNA and WWE talent will be joining, because I can think of a hell of a lot of guys from NXT, especially in Raw and SmackDown. I think if Whacking Wild's on SmackDown, who was DJZ, he is one guy I would love to see go back to Triple A and show everyone what he can do, because I've seen some of his stuff from WWE recently. He's gone absolutely well above what I saw him doing in TNA, which is saying a lot, because he was so impressive in TNA.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I've no doubt the Aztec Warriors will be there from TNA as well, the Raider Kids and Octagon Jr. But I'd love to see guys like Ace Austin and the Rascals will be some guys I'd love to see joining the AAA roster event too. And if AEW or Ring of Honor allow it, Taya Valkyrie and Jenna Peraza will be two of us who will be really good to see. And Lady Frost, given the recent appearances they've made at AAA before it was bought by WWE, they made Taya Valkyrie and Lady Frost were part of the World Tour down there as Team Canada. and they got pretty far into the tournament. I think they might have actually won it as well, or they made a huge standout in that. So it'd be good to see them there too. That'd be like 4 or 5 different companies in one place. That'd be bigger than the multiverse of matches.
Yeah. The multiverse, love it.
Hi to Paul Matheson, hi to Bonkers, and then I see the Limpstars in the chat too. How you doing?
I'm doing all right, actually. I thought I'd just catch up with everyone, see how everyone is. Thanks for joining us.
That's good to see everybody there. Joe Hendry is set to defend the TNA World Title at NXT's Backlash event against Trick Williams after his return to NXT boiled over pretty nastily after a 6-man tag match which he was participating in with NXT Tag Champions Tank and Tank against Darkseid. Saw Trick Williams eventually interfere, distracting Hendry and causing the champs to lose the match. Later, Hendry returned the favor in the 25-man battle royal, thanks to Henry's distraction, which saw Elijah eliminate Trick Williams and the two fighting out backstage and eventually all the way out to the back, where the match was then made that Hendry can get his hands on Trick Williams in WWE at Backlash, but he's got to defend the world title. And Hendry just said, fair enough, I'm the fighting champion, I'm not going to turn it down. So
yeah, that could be a big upset there. What do you reckon?
I'm looking forward to seeing what's happening, seeing what happens, and it also does make the upcoming matches for Under Siege make a bit more sense too.
Right,
why they've been set up. But it's great to see again that cross promotional partnership going so well. Cross promotion storylines.
What do you reckon though? If Trick wins the TNA title, then holds it hostage and loses it to one of the Paul Heyman guys, we might never get our title back.
Oh, Mike Santana will go and get it back.
Yeah, true.
he's not going to let anyone stare.
I like that straight away. You got the solution.
Yeah, Mike Santana will just go straight in and tear their face apart.
Yeah.
From this is some of the controversial and divisive news is coming up now. From the next set of tapings onwards, blading and extreme bloodshed is set to be stopped or at least reduced a lot more to some fans' disappointment. Some even being short-sighted enough to blame this completely on the WWE partnership.
I have seen that.
But this new change has also come amidst rumors of talks of at least 6 possible networks for TNA to work with. And to be honest, we as fans should know that sponsors need to see extreme violence cut back. That or everything just gets broadcast at a later time or pushed back so far, nobody's going to bother tuning in. So it just makes the whole point of going for a network deal completely pointless. You might as well just stay on as a streaming service. And of course, this also plays into it will also make broadcasting outside of TNA Plus a lot more accessible for other countries that have very strict censorship, such as Germany and Australia. If these apparent talks aren't just with companies based around or who have vested interests in the US as the options for these potential network deals. You know, we've seen them expand to South America last week, and that was confirmed on TNA iMPACT this week that all the places they're joining the South American network.
Yeah.
So it just makes sense for you to sacrifice some things, and then once you've got yourself established on the network, start building everything up again and poke and prod at what you can and can't get away with, or what are they willing to give leeway for.
Yeah, I think like one thing that we need to note as well is like, you know, every week we don't need bloodshed everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, and like, you know, if we can get a network, then obviously you get the network, you get the sponsors, you get the money, you get the backing, you get the funding, you get the exposure, you get more fans. It works itself out. Do you know what I mean? But then like you're still going to have a pay-per-view because pay-per-view is a lot more restrictive.
Yeah.
So, you know, not everyone's going to be watching that. Not everyone is going to be watching it live and stuff like that. You're then making the choice, a financial choice at that, but you're making the choice whether or not you want to watch it. And it might not be displayed for free on that network. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, you can watch it on TNA Plus and stuff like that, I guess. And then that's probably where the bloodshed will be. So I am kind of disappointed because obviously, you know, I was a huge fan of Mance and Sammy's match, but I don't expect to see that every week in, week out, you know? So Yeah, it's a tricky one, but I understand the unrest, but at the same time, you've got to think it's for the greater good of the company.
Yeah, well, one thing to take into consideration is the stars themselves and health and safety and everything. And it only like I think it was last month or the month before there was everyone was in an outrage over John Moxley's spot over a spiked baseball bat or something. You did a flip onto that, and everyone was in absolute rage and slagging off AEW for doing something
He literally
crazy
got
like
stabbed.
that. Yeah,
it went right into his shoulders and stuff
yeah.
like that. It was a tough watch, but like, you know, it was at the same time, it's one of those occupational things. And like one of my favorite things, I know I keep bringing it up and stuff like that, is that a GCW wrestler whose name is absolutely completely left my mind. I just remember him as Mr. MDK. Nick Gage.
Wow,
was fighting. Yeah,
he's
so
insane.
Nick Gage was fighting Chris Jericho, and obviously you have a network thing and stuff like that. If you're watching us right now, this is a brilliant way of saying it. So if you imagine Joe's screen has the match on, if you imagine my screen has a Domino's Pizza advert on, when the Domino's Pizza advert came on, at the same time, Nick Gage has Chris Jericho on the ropes and he's running a pizza cut on his forehead. That is a key way to lose a sponsorship and lose any money and upset your network. It was completely unplanned, allegedly. And as soon as it came out, I just thought someone somewhere is watching and they've just created the best crossover ever. But this is the thing you've got to be careful with, because you're going to upset some pretty big people. Like Domino's aren't short of a few bob, are they? Do you know what I mean? So
Dead Punk's hit the nail on the head too. You don't need bloodshed every week. Save it for to blow off the feud. Exactly. You know,
exactly.
The last big bloody match we are going to get will be Maclin versus Eric Young this week, and then that's when everything's going to stop. And I think the decision was made after this match to take a step back and let things die down for a bit.
Yeah.
So you know, and Paul Matheson, you've got eight monthly specials and 4 pay-per-views for the violence. Exactly. You know, again, we don't need it on the weekly TV all the time. Then there's going to be cuts and stuff from busted noses, busted lips, cut eyes, and things like that from spots like diving into that. So they're not going to blur everything out and is it like you're watching it at 5 o'clock in the afternoon on Channel 4 or Sky. Well, you can't see the bloodshed because it's not. It's still post Watershed and all that sort of stuff.
Did you ever watch like the old WWE? No, I think it was WWF when they had Sunday Heat or something like that on Channel 4. You'd have like they had like Triple H with a sledgehammer, and it was just pan to the crowd every time he hit someone.
Yeah, every time there was a chair shot or a bit of bloodshed, it would pan to the crowd, and it was just made it so disengaging. It's not going to be. They're not going to go that far in restricting any violent content on anything.
No, it's quite good.
Let's see. Savannah Evans has announced her departure from TNA after becoming a free agent back in April. Alan Angels and Aiden Prince have also confirmed that they have left the week beforehand, all leaving on good terms. But the recent losses have rapidly been filled with fresh faces. God, I've strung some of these sentences together really, really poorly. that we will get onto the. And the dog kicking me in the back, isn't it? We will get onto next week as I think I've messed that up completely. Basically, we're getting some fresh talent in, and some of them are going to be we've seen in tapings beforehand. Some of them at the last set of tapings as well. But at the moment, I've got a full list of the departed talent from the TNA roster page, all taken off the alumni. Whatever it's called.
Illuminati.
Some of these guys have been gone well over 6 months now. It's just the TNA website hasn't updated everything. People who have gone Alan Angels, Champagne Singh, Crazy Steve, Havoc, Jack Price, Shearer, and Shogun.
I can't believe Shearer's gone.
I know we're going to miss the shuffle. And
I'm not doing it.
No, and I'd also like to say congratulations to Aiden Prince on recent news of your engagement too. Congratulations, mate. Real pleased for you. And as we all know, at Rebellion, Indy Hartwell announced that she's signed with TNA. But over the last week, we've had more good news coming in as we've now found out that we've officially signed Octagon Jr, who's with the Aztec Warriors. Laredo has already been signed for at least another 2 years.
Nice.
Harley Hudson, 2023 gut check winner, who was endorsed and pushed for an appearance in 2025 by Gail Kim, has now officially been confirmed that she's been signed and has been signed since last year. Myla Grace, who has also been endorsed by Gail Kim, is now set to come to TNA. And so Gail Kim might be gone, but Anthem has shown their contributions and input are still not being ignored. And
good.
Victoria Crawford, also known as formerly known as Alicia Fox, while not officially signed yet, she's been added to the roster page, and she will be in action this week after her appearance last week, as well as she will be in one of the big matches coming up at Under Siege.
Yeah,
and continuing the topic of possible incoming talent. AJ Francis says that Dakota Kai, Shotzi Blackheart, forgive me if I pronounce this guy's name wrong, Oro Mensah,
you got it.
have a standing offer to join First Class. So that, alongside a huge number of NXT stars such as Jakara Jackson, Gigi Dolan being released after WrestleMania, all eyes on TNA for June or July, and let's see who we can hopefully get to cross the line as a short and long term. Braun Strowman excluded. He had his time to come into TNA, turned it down, and
I gotta agree, man. I gotta agree. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I feel the same as what you've just said there, but at the same time, I do think that he could stick his head in. But then everyone said that about what's the other guy called who left WWE recently? He's over with Scott, tagging with someone at the minute. Oh, what is he called? I love doing this live on air.
Yeah,
Baron Corbin.
Yeah,
but he's going under a different name, and he's been over on Scott's network for the past couple of months, and I've heard nothing else about him since. So it's kind of like maybe we didn't miss the boat on that one. You know, maybe it was like maybe it wasn't a great choice. But then Braun Strowman, how do you market him in TNA? Because we've had we had Con and stuff like that, big dudes who just limited moves, and it's like you'd have to put him in as part of a faction, and he's probably not going to want that. When you got that star quality and you've been WWE, you don't want to go to TNA and grab the gold.
Yeah,
not possible.
But the big men we've got big guys that can move, like AJ Francis and Moose.
Man.
Guys that
AJ Francis. I say it again and again. Best choke slam in wrestling today.
Let's see. Let's have a quick look at the comments, just seeing what everybody's saying. Who would you have? So I'm reading your comment.
Read it out if you want. It's relevant. Who would you be settled with? Joe Hendry losing the title to?
At the moment, I want to see Mike Santana or Mustafa Ali or Ace Austin. Those are the three guys I'm gunning to go for to be world champion next. Ace Austin needs that shot in the arm, or else he's got nothing else in TNA ready at the moment. And Mustafa Ali, something's happening with him, which we'll get into later on. And Mike Santana has already laid the gauntlet out since he came in that he is going to be the next world champion.
Yeah, I feel like yet again you called that. You called the rise of Santana, and I couldn't see it myself because I've seen him feuding with Mustafa. But then at the same time, does anyone know how long Mustafa's contract is? Because I don't know if I don't know if he'd done like a year contract or something like that, and he's helping push Santana. But I'm not sure. It's a bit of a weird one. What's Dead Punk saying? Mensah fits in with First Class. Shotzi and Gigi would work best as a team challenging Heather and Ash. Yeah,
yes.
True. Cora can take that Tessa role as a top heel. I tell you what, Cora Jade, like as a wrestler, absolutely phenomenal.
I know. I can't believe they let her go. She's amazing.
But then maybe it just doesn't fit into storyline.
Yeah, and same with Gigi Dolan. I was like, whoa, we've literally just had all these guys come over to TNA and show what they can do in the tag division there, and then they split all the. And I saw the everyone was just shocked. They weren't like angry at WWE or everything, but all the fans and across the spectrum were just like, "Whoa, what the fuck's going on here?"
Yeah, like Dead Punk said there, who's in charge of the KO division, and Antonio said the only producer is Jazz. A little bit of a segue to a guest that we had on recently. Did you see that ODB was back in action recently?
Yes, ODB.
Yes,
yeah.
she's had a match and stuff like that, and she's fighting fit and stuff like that. So
incredible.
I tell you what, man, as soon as that music hits, I'll be jumping out of my chair. Do you know what I mean? As soon as that music hits, and I'm not going to do the BAM impression like Jason does because I can't get anywhere close to it, you know. But the fact that we've had her on the show and she literally said it's not a case of if, it's a case of when I'm back in TNA.
Yeah,
man, I'd love to see that. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely. Antonio Baker's also Shotzi might be going to he thinks Shotzi and Dakota Kai will probably go to AEW.
Yeah, I don't blame him. Go make the money, sit on the shelf, use the gym, do what you want.
Again, whatever's next for any of the talent that's been released, good luck to him, regardless of where you go and everything. And but it was just like whoa. And we was expecting cuts to come after WrestleMania, but not that many and not that high quality of talent. It was just huge.
What do you think their plan is though, doing that many cuts?
I really don't have a clue.
Yeah, that's huge.
Anyhow, let's get back to TNA. There we go. Under Siege's card is being set out with 3 matches already announced. We've got Eddie Edwards versus Cody Deaner, Masha Slamovich versus Victoria Crawford, and Joe Hendry and Elijah versus Trick Williams and Frankie Kazarian. Pretty interesting matches actually, and we saw a better build up to why we got Cody Deaner and Eddie Edwards this week too.
Yeah.
And the biggest shock was how Victoria Crawford got her match. But again, we'll be going into that a bit more later on. But still, I was like, whoa, where did that come from? And we've actually got a somewhat rational explanation for it, which is really, really interesting as well. So it's all these are sparking from intertwining storylines, which is just so great to see. This is random, but it's like controlled chaos. It's almost like how I want my mind to work. And finally, for any last bit of news that I've been able to find is Steve Maclin shares his support for the Tunnel to Towers, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation. It's a US veteran charity especially focusing on those who've done tours of Afghanistan, who were around the Twin Towers when 9/11 attacks happened, and helping them trying to get back on their feet with mental health, housing, welfare. I've put the link to Steve Maclin's video he's done for them into the description, and I'll put it into the comments after the podcast is finished as well for anyone that's watching who wants to see what he's had to say. It's just a sort of it being mentioned, so I thought I had to drop it and show my support and adulation and admiration for what Maclin has done.
Good man.
Going 2 tours in Afghanistan, it was just insane to think, Christ, what the hell, man, hats off to you.
Yeah, man.
Hi Norris, how you doing? And I'd love to see Killer Kelly come back, but if Killer Kelly comes back, I don't think we'll be seeing MK Ultra. I'd like to see what Killer Kelly and Rosemary could do if we are going to get any tag team done. But that might be just a dark fetish. You never know.
Sharing it live on air.
See, I mean, don't.
I'm glad we can't see you from the waist down. Don't stand up for the love of God. One way to get cancelled, Jason, come back. What are we doing on the show this week? Funny story. Joe knocked over his webcam. Anyway, let's get our minds out of the gutter and back on topic. Explosion, mate. I'll let you fully take the. There's a segue from Explosion there, but I'm not going to say it. Mate, I don't watch Explosion. I know it's really bad as a TNA fan. I just don't watch it.
That's fine. I was just having a quick flip through the comments as well to see what anyone's got to say. Okay, let's get on. Okay, so Explosion. We had around the ring with Elijah and Gia Miller, but the big talking point was Eric Young versus Laredo. A pretty decent 5-minute match. Really got to see Laredo put in some really good offense despite the Northern Army eventually overcoming everything. But he, the finish to the match was really, really impressive too. Laredo just going for broke, taking out the Northern Army, and then as he dives back into the ring, Eric Young manages to scoop him up out of nowhere and drop him into a really, really nasty power driver. It was a real solid match, really good match. I just wish they had more matches on Explosion.
Yeah,
that's the big only negative at the moment.
Yeah, it does seem like a bit of a video package. That's why I just kind of, well, you can catch up with it online, can't you?
Yeah. And let's see, we go on to TNA Impact. So quick check the kind of the comments. Yeah, bonkers. Kylan King should be back soon. As far as I know, she's still signed with the company, so she should be back soon. She's putting a lot more photos in that of her. She's looking a hell of a lot better on everything. So she's just need to see what's next, and hopefully she'll be back soon. Because I'd love to see her feed with Tessa Blanchard and see where things go from there. Okay, on to TNA Impact. The fallout from Rebellion begins as the TNA World Champion Joe Hendry kicks off the show, calls out Trick Williams, who attacked him from behind in the closing during the closing moments of Rebellion. Trick Williams says he's not in the Impact Zone tonight, but because he's preparing for the Battle Royal on Tuesday. Trick sarcastically wishes Hendry good luck in the 6-man main event tonight on the night. Straightforward, really, really fired up promo from Joe Hendry. Happy birthday chants going around, which he was really humble about and taken aback by. He had to get the crowd to calm down. So he said, "Calm down, or else I'm not going to get anything said." It was a really good promo. Hendry played that "I'm not kidding around" type character really, really well. When he got fired up and started talking about all Trick Williams pissing him off and everything. It was really good promo. We then go backstage to a pumped up Zaku Wentz, who has some last words to move some system ahead of his upcoming X Division title match. After going to war in Barbed Wire Massacre, Sami Callihan and Mance Warner, with a bit of encouragement from Santino Marella and Seth Delanda, shake hands, putting their rivalry to bed. What's next for them now is completely unclear, but this was a really, really rare thing from Sami to willingly offer a handshake to anyone he's been to war with. I think the last person who did that was Tessa, and wow, it's like whoa. And Sami says we will meet again, but what's next from at the moment is entirely unclear. Hopefully,
I'll tell you what, like I am here for it. Like, you know, I really hope that something happens with them. Like maybe someone's going to attack Sami, and maybe Mance is going to help him out. Do you know what I mean? Because like I was a big fan of MLW at the time when Mance and Sami were both doing their story in there. So I think it was around 2018, 2019, something like that. And mate, those two together, the chemistry, we haven't seen it, in my personal opinion, in TNA. We haven't seen that chemistry yet. But my God, once it gets going, it's like, you know, they will stop. They will stop the press. Do you know what I mean? It's absolutely brilliant. And the thing is they aren't just two backyard wrestlers, are they? Do you know what I mean? Sami has carried the company for years. Mance is a great asset. I just hope that we definitely give them the ball and let them run with it, because you know we're in for a treat with both of those guys.
Definitely, I'm looking forward to seeing what's next. And back in the ring, Mike Santana takes on and makes very quick work of Isaiah Moore, leading on to what we've been waiting to hear once again before Mustafa Ali poked the bear. Mike Santana puts Joe Hendry on notice, ready to climb the ladder and onto the World Championship contention. This promo was, like you said, we talked about, mentioned earlier, it was absolute dynamite. It was brilliant. Mike Santana's promo work has just gone through the roof, and my God, it was just, I was gripped by the whole thing from start to finish. It was just so good to see. Yeah, he's got one of the best cannonballs in pro wrestling too. The distance he can get from that is
Yeah,
incredible.
it's mad, isn't it?
It's like Crazy Steve over halfway across the ring, flows. You can get to him almost coast to coast.
True.
It's just insane. Oh, thank you very much, freaking Punk. Thank you very much.
Oh, cheers, man. Thanks, Punk.
Let's have a quick look at the chat. Steb Punk. Maybe a couple of guys from NXT attack Sammy, similar to what happened to Hendry in NXT. Yeah, we could see if there's any guys who are really want to piss off the Death Machine and really start poking, just making trouble for the sake of making trouble. Go after Sammy, go after Manson, whatnot. And then,
well, imagine if this like Dark State lot
yeah,
come into TNA and like attack us like an invasion or something, and then Joe Hendry calls on Mance and Sammy to help him out.
Yeah.
Like, let's like not being funny. Like, we might have done this thing where we're like, right, we don't want Bloodshed and that lot. I don't know what the rules are for NXT.
Let's see. Yeah, we're set to hear from TNA International Champion Steve Maclin when he's blindsided by the Northern Armory. Judas Icarus and Travis Williams held Maclin down into the ring while Young assaults him with a steel chain, just like we did at Rebellion. Backstage, Santino Marella informs Eric Young and Maclin that they'll get their hands on each other again next week. In an online exclusive promo found on TNA's website, Twitter, etc., a fired up and pretty pissed off Steve Maclin is now demanding that this match become a dog collar match to end this rivalry once and for all. This was Maclin's reaction to this one in the promo was his just again gold promo work from Steve Maclin, and he's one of the best talkers in the company right now as well. Really great. And I joked about this match, but going into being some sort of dog collar match when we saw the chain in post Rebellion. I didn't expect it to come to fruition. So it's like wow. And from reading some of the comments without any spoilers being given away by the guys who've commented, this match was indeed really brutal. It's one to watch this week, guys. It's going to be really good. May 2nd, TNA put up a poll asking fans who really did win, who was the real winner of Ultimate X. Leon Slater backed by 75.3% of the fans, and they wanted to sign him after 21.7% decided to trust the system. We then move on to Moose and Zachary Wentz for the X Division title. This match was really incredible. There's two of the best in the ring, extremely fast paced, blink and you'll miss it action. Moose hitting that incredible springboard crossbody he can do. You forget how big he is and how when you see him flying around like that, it's just insane.
Yeah.
And a really solid match throughout. Zachary Wentz putting in some incredible offense. Did you see this match? What were your thoughts on it?
Yeah, man, I did see the match, but like, man, I've got to go back to that Leon Slater, like the whole percentage thing, because I just want to throw out a little Easter egg. If you go back and watch it, and like, obviously, I've got the script in front of me, and I've just looked at it, so I'm trying to compose myself because of who I'm about to mention. If you look, at the match, so obviously, Leon Slater grabs the title, drops down, and is speared by Moose.
Yeah.
Look at who grabs the belt.
Yeah.
Between Leon Slater and Moose, and look at who has their both feet on the ground.
Yeah.
Go and look at it and tell me, the outsider who should be the X Division champion if the rules is the rules.
Oh, does that mean you want to know something?
But it's exactly that person. Do you know what I mean? It's just I couldn't believe it when I seen it. I thought, well, the only thing that I am thinking is once you have the belt from the cross, do both of your feet have to be in the ring, or do you just have to have both feet on the floor?
Well, they say both feet have to touch the floor, and the assumption is you just drop straight down from grabbing the X. You know, no one's ever got it, climbed to the edge, and then jumped out on the side of the ring.
Yeah, see, that's another. Well, that could be a future result. Who knows? But what I'm saying is just like if you watch Alicia has both feet on the floor.
Yeah,
and she grabs the belt. and throws it to Moose. Now
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, if we're gonna do a decider, then I want a triple threat match.
Yeah.
I want Moose and Slater versus Alicia. It's the only way to decide it. But yeah, talk about fantasy booking.
Oh, that would be incredible. I've also got in the script. Highlights on the match and who's still laughing about that X Factor to Alicia Edwards. Craig.
Do you know what? I've watched that clip 1,000 times. I've watched that clip more than Harry Maguire's goal against Leon, and that's saying something.
I thought it was just so much of a throwback to the Attitude Era. I couldn't help laughing.
Oh man, it was just perfect. The fact that you see X-Pac man handling a woman again.
Yeah. So the match ends with Alicia Edwards holding on to Wentz's leg, distracting him enough to Moose to hit the spear to get the win. But the match itself was brilliant, and the finish itself was just classic system. Until someone can take away the extra bodies, the system is going to be running the show. Gia Miller is waiting backstage for Mustafa Ali. But Ali refuses an interview with Gia Miller. John Skyler, who's filling in for Tasha Steele, says she's out of action due to a back injury after being powerbombed from the table by Mike Santana. Says that Ali hasn't been the same since losing to Santana at Rebellion. He's just been completely distant and he doesn't want to talk to anybody. So it's leaving a bit of mystery. Are we going to see a character change when we see Ali in the ring this week, or what's going to happen then? Let's have a quick look at the chat. See what everyone's saying. Antonio Vega, I've had my feels of triple threats this year. Doesn't want to see another one for a while. We do have a three-way though, guys. You do know that, but yeah, I can see what you're pointing, I suppose. Oh damn! Solution would beat both of them, so Eddie will come out and help.
That's it.
Back out in the ring, Cody Deaner is ready to say his goodbyes, and thanking the crowd for everything. As his contract is set to expire at midnight, but Director of Authority Santino Marella offers Deaner one final opportunity to persuade the board of directors to renew his contract, defeat Eddie Edwards in a singles match at Under Siege. Well, that was quite interesting. But the great news was then interrupted by Robert Stone. Welcome back, Robbie E. Good to see you. One of the guys who really grabbed my attention when I was watching TNA. So I was a big Bromance fan. It's good to see Robbie E back, just not in this way. who is accompanied by former WWE Divas champion Victoria Crawford, formerly known as Alicia Fox. Stone reveals that Murray's performance is under review, with Crawford now serving as Deputy Director of Authority. Stone announces that Crawford will also be challenging for the Knockouts for the Championship at Under Siege. And that was like, whoa, what a bombshell to drop on everybody and really throw a spanner into any stability that we were finally getting. Wow.
I won't lie, that really pissed me off.
Yeah.
As a TNA fan, I thought, oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Like I've said before, like March 26th, 2001, I've never got over Vince McMahon turning up on that screen on WCW. I get PTSD thinking about that shit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I'm looking at Robbie E, because that's his real title, turning up all suited and booted, and just like coming out and doing that. I thought, hang on, how's this part of a storyline? Who's writing this storyline? Because I tell you what, the bit that, like, and I don't mean to say it or bring it up, but where the hell is JBL? Where's John Layfield when we need him? Do you know what I mean? Or if we cast our mind back to, I think it was a Impact episode, when we saw John Layfield walk out of the Systems changing room.
Yeah.
So is John Layfield actually in charge of Anthem, like story-wise? Do you know what I mean? Maybe John Layfield's there and he's like not happy with what he's seeing, and Robert Stone's his little puppet or something. I don't know, but it's
there's a lot of stones left unturned.
Hey, I see what you did there.
Oh, I just meant that as a figure of speech. I didn't. That wasn't
Yeah,
that was no pun intended.
that
But
was absolutely brilliant. What are you on about? You should take a full credit for that. No Robert Stone's unintended. But it's just I just think that the thing that I love about TNA now and TNA Wrestling is the fact that there's so many possibilities. Like, we come on here every week and we could be talking absolute cod shite,
yeah,
But the thing is some of it comes true. Some of it
yeah,
happens. Who would have thought that we would have seen X-Pac as part of
yeah.
the Rascals? If I said that 2 years ago, you would have been like, just stay off the meds and stop playing, 2K23 or whatever it is. Do you know what I mean? So it's that sort of thing where it's just the possibilities at the moment are really endless. And I'm so much happier with this open door policy that we've got,
Yeah.
as opposed to the open door thing that Mr. Damore and Tony Khan had. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I agree. You can't you can say, oh, it was 2020 as much as you like. That means nothing.
yeah,
We had an asshole versus someone who was just trying to play nice.
yeah.
Anyway, backstage, Morella and Stone are tearing at each other's throats, and an onlooking Tessa Blanchard is relishing in Santino's misery, and after having her say and everything, walks away with Robert Stone and Victoria Crawford. She really did lay into Santino about the whole state of the company, continuing on her just disgust and how she's not being pushed for the title, she's not champion, really playing down Santino. I thought she was brilliant in the way Robert Stone and Victoria Crawford said, "Hey, that's fantastic. We should talk."
Do you reckon she rocks up on NXT?
I would love to see it happen now. I think it would be really. It would be a shame if it didn't happen, even if it was just like a video package to start off with to see what the fan reaction would be.
Yeah.
If Tessa didn't have some appearance at NXT, and then over the next couple of months, and that's a missed opportunity from both sides to really make this partnership just add that extra something special, because Tessa would really wind everybody up.
Oh man, can you
all
imagine that NXT crowd? We're coming
yeah,
for you, Tessa. We're coming for you,
yeah,
Tessa. But yeah, like the thing is the beauty of Tessa Blanchard is, despite the negativity, despite the bad vibes online, stuff like that there is, she works it to a positive. And I
yeah.
always go back to something that Scott Damore said. I've mentioned way too much tonight. I should slap my wrist.
That's okay.
He always goes back to negative buzz is still buzz.
Yeah,
And my God, is she riding that buzz? It's the
definitely.
same as that accident between Sammy and Eddie with
Yeah,
that baseball bat. They rode the buzz. He ended up on TMZ. Do you know
yeah.
what I mean? Because of it. So it's like negative buzz is still buzz. And yay, look at that. We've reached 100 messages today with the chat. Here was us earlier wondering if anyone was going to tune in. And here we are. So thank you, everyone who's in the chat and joining us tonight. This is brilliant.
Yeah, I'm just reading Antonio's comment now about Joe Coffey and his brother were released in it from NXT too. If they could get signed by TNA, that would be great, because any extra tag teams in the Knockouts or the tag team division is more than welcome. And those two guys are incredible too. And we've a lot of the recent signings have been from the UK and Northern Ireland too, which is might be also playing into a possibility of a UK TV deal might be being discussed soon. As that was something that crossed my mind when I was writing the script. I looked at all the where everyone's coming from. Myla Rose is from Northern Ireland. We've got Harley Hudson from Liverpool, and we've had Zaya Brookside recently at the start of the year. So we've got quite a few people from the UK now and Leon Slater. Quite a few people from the UK on TNA's roster alongside Joe Hendry, of course. Can't ignore the champion. And then so there's a lot of UK talent. So I'll be seeing a push for the UK tour or a UK TV deal. Hopefully, well, both, but hope whichever one will I can get to easier. Will be brilliant. See what Norris had to say. Tessa should come out with Alberto W when he goes to WWE.
I cannot believe that they've signed him.
I didn't know
Page back there.
I didn't know he got signed again. Christ.
I know he got let go from AAA. which that made sense. And then he got signed. So if they like let him go and then re-signed him, so he's got the original name.
I think so. Yeah, that's probably the main.
The contract is probably to own his property and stuff like that. But they would have paid him handsomely and like, but how do you market him and how do you let him on the premises at the same time as Page?
No, I don't think
so many questions.
Gary wants Tessa versus Chelsea. No, I don't think that Chelsea would entertain that as much, regardless of what you are.
Steel cage with no ref.
Yeah, just let them fight it out. But I've just have a quick look at the other shit. Yeah, Danny Luna as well. She's another UK talent, so we could possibly see the rest of Subculture. Mark Andrews and Flash Morgan Webster. I know Morgan Webster and Mandrews are free agents now too. I think still.
It was so good.
Yeah.
I just was it a visa problem? I was told.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
It was all bloody visa issues in that.
Oh yeah, Antonio.
That's going to be made a lot more difficult now with the way things are going at the moment too. So
yeah,
but hopefully they can work something out, and because I would love to see them back too, because they had a fantastic run as tag team champions, and I'd love to see them take on the Nemesis and then them versus the Rascals again. It would be incredible.
Yeah.
Anyhow, where are we here? Going. Back out in the ring, out for revenge after after the assistance in aiding the Elegance brand to victory at Rebellion. Jody Threat takes on Maggie Lee. This match was another absolute banger. Maggie Lee took a hell of a beating from Jody Threat and dished out a hell of a lot of punishment too, and it was a really good to and fro for quite a while. One getting a battering, the other one getting a battering, and vice versa. With some really, really good innovative offense from both sides throughout this entire match, and it just came down to eventually who had enough of getting the shit kicked out of the other one. Maggie Lee is incredibly durable, and Jody Threat is just that when you see her go around the ring, she's the wild child. Let her go in the ring, and she will just not stop until the opponent cannot go anymore. And Sammy shush. And that's the dog singing, guys. So a really, really good match. Maggie Lee, of course, taking the loss, and so the Elegance brand vowed to give her a makeover and let all the problems go away after the match. Oh, I do feel sorry. I feel so sorry for Maggie Lee. But so we're might be seeing a new look this week, or when we see a Maggie next.
Who knows? Who knows?
Did you watch this match?
Yeah, I watched it. The thing is like I know you and Bison have both got your links to Maggie Lee. But I've not really seen her before. So, to see her wrestle, I was like, wow, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, she's definitely good in the ring, but don't really know where this whole character development thing's going.
No, I'm a bit disappointed that she's gone. They've pushed her straight into the Elegance brand, unless something really, really drastic happens and she turns against or something.
Yeah.
I was hoping she'd go solo or go with Xia Brookside or against Xia Brookside and go and then.
I mean, that would be good. Like I'm trying to figure out what's going on with Xia and Lei Yingli.
Yeah,
I think I got it right.
Yes.
I was trying to figure out what's going on there, and then I'm still trying to figure out what's going on with Rosemary and Xia. I'm like, come on, just do a video package or something. Like, let's get like a Xia Death Star or something like that. Do you know what I mean? let's goth her up a bit or something, because I'm trying to figure out what's going on with these storylines. But like I said earlier, it's brilliant just the way that we're all like unfolding these different things that are going on. It's really hard to predict TNA at the moment, and I'm all for it. But
there's times where it can be frustrating, but at the same time, it's also incredibly brilliant. So it's like you're going mad because you don't know what's happening, but it's fantastic that you don't know what's happening.
It's just I'm getting like I'm dying of starvation with some storylines where they keep dangling the carrot. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, just drop the carrot already, please. Come on. But it's still going. But I love Dead Punk's view on them.
elegance brand.
against that. Yeah, the
Yeah.
Beautiful People version 4.0. Like, all we need now is Kip James to drop back in as well. That would be brilliant.
After crossing the line at Rebellion, TNA's newest knockout, Indy Hartwell, is interviewed by Jay Miller, giving a pretty strong an introductory promo. I was really impressed with this. She didn't look phased by the crowd, phased by the new stage and everything like that. She just really laid it on the line. She's here to be more than just another woman on the roster, which was really a pretty strong statement to make, because usually you get a lot of people come on and then it takes them a very long time to get going. But hopefully we see what WWE couldn't see in her, or just couldn't carry on from her, because I really did enjoy this. And up next, the two future megastars of the X Division clash as Casey Navarro takes on Leon Slater. What a banger this match was. It was just full of everything. You got the literal first class from Casey Navarro, the cocky attitude, the unbelievable speed that these two guys can go at is just insane.
Pardon me.
Yeah.
I tell you what, one thing I know I'm going way back on what I said, but I said about someone said about, oh yeah, Dead Punk said about the Beautiful People, and I mentioned Kip James. Kip James, to those who don't know who I'm on about, is Billy Gunn, also known as Mr. Ass. Now, if you watched TNA recently and you saw X-Pac joining up with the Rascals, then please tell me that you heard what they called Ace Austin.
Yeah.
Ace Austin. I was like, I tell you what, if we don't have this deal with, like, WWE, like, please make that a thing. Get get Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and X-Pac to have a chat or whatever, and just debut like DX 2.0 or something on NXT, and just have him come out as Ass Austin. That would be brilliant. But yeah, it was kind of like one of those IWPF sort of shows that we've done. But I was all for it. It was brilliant. But anyway, sorry.
Dead Punk Gage is like, we're questioning the possibility of a Seth Lander and Indy Hartwell reunion. Seth Lander has called for that. It was literally the first thing she said. She put out on Twitter when she found out that Indy Hartwell had joined, that should we bring this team back? So I think when Seth Lander is cleared to wrestle again, then I'm pretty sure that will definitely be an option, and one I'm all for seeing. And freaking Punk, Man Like Diarese again. I think he was also apparently at the last set of tapings too. So which is great to see. He's someone I would really like to see signed as well. We've talked about him in the past, and I've seen him live. He's absolutely amazing. I saw him take on Eric Young at Wrestle Carnival in 2022. 2022. He was absolutely incredible watching him and Eric Young go toe to toe. It was he's so impressive. And he was also the winner of the Wrestle Carnival tournament when they relaunched their show a couple of weeks ago too. So he's got a lot of momentum behind him. So it'd be great to see him again. And again, let's look at the comments quickly. And anyhow, so Casey Navarro and Leon Slater, this match was an absolute banger. Guys, go check this one out. Leon Slater eventually getting the win. No further discussion other than seeing the some replays in that of the end of the Ultimate X match. So I was hoping after we get a post match promo or something from Leon Slater to have his say on what he thinks should be happening next. But that might be coming for the next couple of weeks time maybe. But I'm hoping for by end of stage we see Leon Slater versus Moose, or something comes from that, because they can't just leave it at that cliffhanger with the referee's discretion. That's just that's a no from me. And the final promo before the main event, the Knockouts World Champion Masha Slamovich promises to show Victoria Crawford that at Under Siege she cannot hang with an athlete of her caliber. Real strong, I don't give a fuck who you are promo from Masha Slamovich.
Yeah.
great.
Needed, to be fair.
Yeah. Less intimidate, less like I'm intimidated by you, more I'm going to destroy you.
Yeah. Masha's going to kill you.
The main event, we go to Frankie Kazarian and the TNA Tag Team Champions, the Nemeths, going off against the Hardys and Joe Hendry. This was another really good match. Definitely well worth the main event slot just really, really good, fast, really good, well-paced action throughout the entire match. Lots of back and forth action. Ryan Nemeth really got an ass kicking in this match, which was good to see. But he also did a lot of damage too. So we got to see Ryan Nemeth really show a bit more that he's more than a punching bag. And it was a real good, solid match throughout. Trick Williams coming into the match, taking out Joe Hendry would be the deciding factor. And after the match, Trick Williams would then lay out Hendry again with the trick shot in the ring, standing over him while Impact Wrestling goes off air. So that sort of set in stone. After Joe Hendry's obviously pissing him off the week before and on NXT, what comes up on yesterday's NXT, Joe Hendry got the invite back from Shawn Michaels, and that's what happened. Joe Hendry went absolute hell for leather on everybody. Nearly tore the house down. Literally, and then because of that, he's got to defend his world title.
Good man.
Good for him. Excuse me. So this Thursday, we got the full card. This time, so that's good. Good. We got Trick Williams will be kicking off the night. We got the Great Hands versus the Aztec Warriors. So Octagon Jr. making his not his debut, not his TNA Impact debut, but is it now as an official signed talent? Officially signed match. Rosemary versus Lei Ying Lee. Victoria Crawford will be in action. We hear from the Hardys after their recent losses to the Nemeths because we get to hear from them after Rebellion. So
are they hanging around? Do you know? What do you think?
They're set to be around until Bound for Glory is over. So they'll be back and forth, I think. But they've set Matt Hardy's saying if Joe Hendry needs their back on NXT, the Hardys will be there. If he needs their back on Raw or SmackDown, they'll be there. So wherever Hendry's going, the Hardys will be going. So I think that's going to be like a small circle for the short term.
I reckon Matt Hardy's definitely one of the most valuable members at the moment because he's got that link with everyone, hasn't he? And he's got that respect, and he's as we know,
he's a creator.
He gets what he wants.
Well, he's a master of reinvention, and he's one of those guys that you can go to if you need a pep talk, and he'll give you the right advice.
Yeah.
So Matt Hardy's just incredible. He's just someone I wish I could meet face to face to shake his hand.
Yeah, man.
Just to say you're a fucking legend. If it weren't for the Hardys, I wouldn't be watching wrestling.
Well, there we go.
Yeah, so I'm marking out whether they're going to even shake his hand. I'll be marking out going, Anyway, Victoria Crawford will be in action. If I said that, we'll be here from the Hardys. Mustafa Ali will be taking on Trey Miguel. And in the main event, Steve Maclin will be taking on Eric Young in a dog collar match with the TNA International Championship online.
That Trey and Mustafa match, I've got a feeling that's going to be an underrated match.
Yeah, something really big is going to happen there. We're going to probably hear from Mustafa after the match, or we're going to just see a huge total character shift.
Yeah, I hope the lights drop down or whatever, and then JR just comes on and goes, "Oh my God, it's Ass Austin."
But so I'm looking forward to seeing this. I want to see what's up with Mustafa Ali because he was stone cold. He just didn't even acknowledge Jim. Usually he'd at least give her a glare or something. This time, straight past her. He was not interested. Let's have a look for the chat before we go.
Rayuk, we covered that earlier. He was on there with Hank and Tank. Is that the two guys? Correct me if I'm wrong. When Joe Hendry was there, and we're like, "Oh, if you need our backup, all you gotta do is Honk,
Honk,
honk.
honk.
I was just like, oh my god! It just reminded me of when The Rock saw Kevin Nash as Diesel.
Yeah. I saw some of the highlights from that match. Hendry went on an absolute tear there, giving everyone a fall away slam, and
Oh wow!
he nearly flipped one of the guys on his own team. He grabbed everybody and threw all the other team out the ring. And he nearly threw one of his own guys out the ring, and he had to. I was like, "Crap!" But that just shows you how strong Joe Hendry is. Those guys must be at least 300 pounds plus each between them. And Joe Hendry was able to scoop him up, hold him sideways, and nearly throw him over his head before getting stopped. It was just an incredible show, a display. And that match must have been a real good watch if you guys tuned into NXT. It's just on so late, I don't get a chance to catch up with it.
Yeah, man.
Anyway, all that being said, that's all we got time for tonight, guys. It's a bit of a shame, but if you want to show your support for the TNI-UK team, please feel free to super sticker us. And as some of you have already. Thank you very much, guys. If you had, I'll have whichever is the right context. I'm getting my bloody plurals fucked up now. Or head over to prowrestlingtees.com/non-stop impact for some great shirts, or head over to our exclusive spreadshirt merchandise store for the links, of course, are below. All the TNI shows are for you listeners on the go fans are available on audio via SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, wherever you listen to your favorite shows. Don't forget to tune into the TNA US show tomorrow as TNA goes live, and post show for the TNI review. And that being said, where can we find you on the socials, Craig?
Well, if you're watching, then have a little look at that blue banner there. It's got LimpstarUK on it. Just type it like that, and I come up on Instagram. I come up on Facebook. I come up on here, there, and bloody everywhere. You'll probably see something that you'll think, is this even the guy from wrestling at the moment? Because we're actually doing a push on an event that I've got in my local area called Twisted Destiny. So we're doing like a rave, and we've got like some big names from the scene like Hixie, Sharky, WizKid. You'll know those names if you've ever listened to the Bonkers albums to do with Have Hardcore and all that lot. We're actually bringing them to the Southwest, so it's pretty huge for me because I'm on the same lineup, so that's pretty cool. So I'll be DJing on the August Bank Holiday in Torquay, which is just phenomenal. Love the town, love the club, love the brand, and we're really hoping that goes well. So don't be alarmed if you see it and you be like, there's nothing to do with TNA here. It is me. It's just what I do when I'm away from the wrestling sort of thing. But yeah, I've got my wrestling Twitter account, or X if you want to call it. That's Network Stooge. Yet again, another week where I've not figured out how to change the name. What about you, Joe? Where can we find you?
You can look for me at JK Empty Space on Twitter. Go on to YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter. Look for #Empty Space, #Into the Void, or if you fancy to take your taste buds and you sense humor, #Daily Giggle, but approach with open mind and you just might keep your sanity.
Sanity. I've just noticed your little blue bar. I've just noticed it says sanity. We've got to the end of the show, and I've just noticed it says sanity.
Oh, I thought you noticed that. That's why I went to the sanity at the start of the show, because I forgot. Anyhow, and of course you can catch the Bison at Bison by Design on TikTok, or follow him on Twitter at Lord Bison 45. And you can follow the TNI socials at We Talk Impact on Facebook, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, wherever the socials are. Look for We Talk Impact or Non-Stop Impact. You'll find us there, guys. With that being said, please take the time to help us move up the rankings by giving us a thumbs up. Please. And if you're new to us and you managed to last this long, like what you've heard, consider hitting that subscribe button. And don't forget to give the Barticle a squeeze and, of course, a smash. And you'll never miss any of the TNI UK or US teams TNA related content we release every week. With all that being said, eventually, I've been the Joker. He has been LimpstarUK. This has been TNI UK episode 229. Much love to the TNI tribe.